Hey guys, Brian Matiash here, and in this video I'd like to talk to you about growing as a photographer or creative growth. Now, typically when I look online for that, videos, posts, that kind of thing on the subject of creative growth, I see things about, considering buying a new lens or a new camera or going on a trip somewhere. All of which totally rational, good ideas. But one thing I don't see discussed very often is the importance of a photo critique or a portfolio critique. So I want to talk to you and tell you 5 reasons why I think you should consider getting a portfolio critique done for yourself. But before I do, I just want to give you kind of a summary of my experiences as a photographer who has had and paid for photography critiques and have been paid for to provide photography critiques. The typical practice of a portfolio critique is that you go ahead and you provide another photographer or creative who you typically respect, who has a lot of experience in the field, you provide them with, a representation, whether that's 10 images or 15 images of who you are as a photographer. And that person reviews them, spends serious time looking at them, and then provides you with unbiased, unfiltered feedback. And that kind of feedback loop that you get between yourself and the person who's providing you with a critique often can lead to some serious growth that no lens, no camera, no trip can ever come close to meeting. So with that, let's go ahead. I want to give you my 5 reasons why I think you should consider, maybe instead of buying that new lens, investing in a professional portfolio critique. Reason number 1 is that it will get you out of the social media echo chamber. In my opinion, this is one of the most important reasons why you should consider getting a portfolio critique. Now listen, I totally get why you share photos on social media. I do it every day or almost every day. And a lot of times the responses I get are really nice. They give me that kind of dopamine hit. There's the nice shot, great shot, beautiful shot, those kind of quick hit comments and people, hitting the like button on your photos. And it makes you feel like, hey, maybe I'm actually a really good photographer. And that kind of can lead to maybe there's not much more room I need to grow. Maybe I actually am really good at what I do because I'm getting all these really nice comments and feedback. Problem is that's an echo chamber. Typically when you share something on social media, look, we all have very limited time and we also have our own agendas. I'm sharing my photos because I want you to see them. And yeah, I want to spend some time seeing other people's photos, but at the end of the day, my time is best served kind of helping myself. And same thing with you. So you really want to get out of that echo chamber. And one of the best ways to do that is to go through a photo critique process where you are working actively one-on-one with another photographer and you are paying for their time. So they have an invested kind of interest in making sure they provide you with valuable feedback. And this is feedback that's not going to be nice shot. The feedback that you get from a photo critique, the feedback that I've gotten from a photo critique is very real and it's not always very pleasant. So it's just something that will help you, if you take it to heart, it will help you grow as a photographer. Reason 2 is the actual kind of self-edit process. I believe that there's real growth. When you go through the process of a critique, you're going to be providing the person who's going to give you the feedback with a collection, like I said, of 10 to 15 photos, depending on how the session is built. And it's on you to determine which photos best represent you as a photographer. And if you take this process seriously, the actual act of self-editing and selecting the photos that represent you, that's a huge growth opportunity there because it'll force you to look at and decide what kind of photographer you are. In my opinion and my experience when I've done critiques, it's not always good to provide your critique person or the photographer you're working with a collection of just completely disjointed photos, like a wedding photo here and a landscape photo here and an architecture photo. It doesn't really speak to who you are as a photographer. It shows that, yeah, you're kind of versatile, but if you're really looking to build and understand who you are as a photographer, what your kind of personal aesthetic is, what your style is, you want to provide a very tightly integrated collection of photos. So that process, in my opinion, is very, very helpful when you go through the selection process in determining, like, this is the kind of photographer I am. By having that realization, that self-realization, that automatically brings you to a level of growth that you didn't have before. Reason number 3 is that I mentioned that some of the feedback that you get from a critique can be kind of hard to hear. It's definitely going to be straight. But one of the things that it can do is reinforce your areas of strength that you might not even know. Again, when you have another person who is kind of actively reviewing your photos, they might be able to pick up on themes and strengths and areas where, this is looking like this is the kind of photographer you are that you might not have considered. And that right there can be a really big benefit. You know, maybe you didn't really realize that, like, you know what, this particular style of composition is something that I'm good at. You know, it might just not have dawned upon you until that feedback was provided. So in a way, there is going to be some positive feedback that comes from a critique for sure. It's not going to be rosy like, oh, great shot, but it will provide you with more insight. It's going to be more substantial feedback in the positive light. So something to consider there. Reason number 4 is, as part of a critique, when you get your feedback, one of the things that it will most likely do is expose you to entirely new and alternate ways of composition and post-processing. Because you're getting this feedback from someone who is actively interested in your growth, they're going to give you ideas that maybe you never considered. And to me, that is one of the most powerful growth opportunities, is when someone's like, hey, you know, this is good, you know, but have you considered doing it this way? Have you considered kind of adjusting the way you compose, or adjusting, maybe you apply a different style, maybe it would serve this kind of composition or serve your style better? That kind of feedback is fantastic. It's very, very strong, and it's not something you typically will get just from a casual sharing of photos online. So again, reason 3 was it might reinforce existing strengths or latent strengths, things that you may not have known. But reason 4 is that it might provide you with entirely new avenues that you can pursue that you never considered before. And finally, reason 5, and this is probably my favorite and most important reason, I cannot stress this enough. The biggest benefit, in my opinion, of why it's worth investing in a professional photo portfolio critique is that it will give you a thicker skin. It will force you to have a thicker skin, and it will, in turn, it will give you greater confidence. There is nothing more humbling than just getting straight talk feedback. And I'm talking about honest, substantial, good feedback. You know, telling you where, you know, you can do better here. This isn't actually as strong as you think. Consider this. That kind of feedback that is coming to you from someone who, you know, a photographer who you already respect, who has a lot of experience in the field, who's done these kinds of critiques before. If you take that feedback to heart, and you don't let it get to you, meaning you don't get offended or you don't cower away from it, but you actually take it and you kind of twist it around so that it becomes, you know, a thicker skin, you will become a better, stronger, and more confident photographer. I mean, it's just one of those things. I will never forget a particular photography critique session that I paid for, where the feedback was just, it was so acute, and it was really, really, I mean, it hit home. But as a result, I know that I became a stronger photographer because of it. And, you know, a lot of the things that I've said in this video come from personal experience through sessions that I've paid for, because I want to grow as a photographer. I don't want to feel comfortable where I am. I want to know that, yes, I can do better. There's always room to improve. And so this is why I strongly recommend considering, you know, again, maybe instead of buying that lens, maybe considering investing in yourself. And with that, I'd like to also mention that I offer personalized photo critiques on my website. If you go to matiash.com/critique, you can learn more. And I really hope that, you know, whether it's with me or with another photographer who you admire, who also offers that kind of premium service, that you invest in yourself. Because in my opinion, there is no better way to grow as a photographer than to have that kind of real response, that introspection that comes from a portfolio critique. So with that, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and by all means, subscribe to my channel so that you can get access to all of my new videos. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the next one.